is going to start, and I'm very happy that all of you are available on, even though this is Mother's Day. And so you probably have seen in the past about three sessions where we just have started these introductions of Shri Yoga members, and overall people are really enjoying it, learning about the other members in the group. So with that, let's start with Aruna. Let me spotlight her first. So spotlight for everyone. Okay. Again, you can be in. It doesn't matter if you are in gallery mode or the speaker view, gallery view or speaker view. And again, many of you know. I know Sham and Aruna since my sister knows them, and so I know them. And when we during the COVID, when we started this online classes. Aruna was very much interested in joining. Both of them were very much interested in joining the classes, and not just joining. So she decided to complete the training, and so now she is teaching the online classes. So far, not in-person classes, but if there is opportunity, she will be glad to do that. In person also. So with that, Aruna, go ahead and tell more about yourself.
Okay. Aruna, Sham's wife. It is first. Let me say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and I just want to thank you for Srikanji for giving me the opportunity to speak about myself. And it's a wonderful journey so far for last 50 years in America, and particularly with Sham. I grew up in Maharashtra and basically in Pune, Bombay. My father was in army, so he used to travel quite a bit. So we stayed in Pune for high school, and father for and for college, I was in Bombay. And when I was in school in Huzurpaga, Pune, I was participating in a lot of sports. And that's where I first learned yoga. So I developed the liking for yoga and sports. That's where I played kho-kho, volleyball, and kabaddi. And then I continued that journey into college in Bombay, SNDT University, and I completed my bachelor's degree in home science. And that time I was playing inter-university kabaddi and volleyball. And the funny thing is, when I was playing inter-university, my sister was in Bombay University, so we used to play tournaments against each other, and that was a real fun part. And then
all of you were on the team.
And all of us were on the team of Maharashtra for national kabaddi, and we played in Delhi. And guess who won? Maharashtra was a very strong team, so we won the nationals that year. I completed my home science degree in SNDT University, what we called home economics here in United States. And then we moved to Amravati, where my father got posted. And in Amravati, in Vidarbha Mahavidyalaya, I was teaching some science courses there. And after teaching 2-3 months, Sham came to visit Bombay. And one of our common acquaintances recommended that we should meet each other. Then we got married in 1973, and then we moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan. And that's where I met Shubhangi and Madhav, Srikanth's sister. And we had a really wonderful time in Ann Arbor. Sham finished his PhD, and while he was doing PhD, we could not afford to take a lot of courses in the university. So I took a couple of courses in Eastern Michigan University. After finishing Sham's PhD, we moved to New York, where Sham was teaching at NYU. That's where I started my bachelor's and master's in dietetics and nutrition. And while I was doing master's and BS, I had Manisha and Amol in New York City. And the day I gave 2 final exam at night, Manisha was born. That was the interesting part. And then after spending 4 years in New York, we moved to Gainesville, Florida, where Sham was teaching at University of Gainesville, University of Florida. That's where I got my license, nutrition, registered dietitians and nutrition license. And I was teaching there for about 5 to 6 years. That's where basically it was like a balance, work and life balance with managing 2 kids. And Sham was extremely busy with his book. So it was a little bit difficult and tight time, but we really enjoyed the time in Gainesville for almost 11 years. Then 1990, we moved to Atlanta, where Sham took a job at Georgia Tech and started working there. And I also joined 1991 Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And I worked as a pediatric dietitian there for almost 30 years. And I really enjoyed working with children and their families, counseling them, patient and families with different diseases like cancer, diabetes, craniofacial disorders, newborn babies with certain heart issues, cystic fibrosis, craniofacial deformities, developmental disabilities, and rehabilitation patients. And I got my 2 certifications there in pediatric nutrition and diabetes education. This job was very rewarding because I could make a difference in the life of children, and particularly nutritionally, and improve their health. And even parents, if you think of it, they also took, they were very receptive and very attentive, because they also wanted to make sure that all the children are getting good nutrition and improve. So that was really a good experience in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And professionally, I wrote 2 chapters and co-author with Dr. Cohen in 2 chapters. One is feeding and nutrition with particularly developmental disabilities and gastrointestinal diseases, and pediatric and GI and liver diseases. And the another book was developmental disabilities. So this was extremely rewarding. And after working 30 years, I decided to retire. And after retirement, with Sham's encouragement, I decided to play tennis. He said, you have really sports background, so you should continue some physical activity. And since you like sports and tennis, so why don't you continue playing tennis? So I started playing tennis. And just before COVID, as Shrikanji said, that I joined their Shri Yoga group to do yoga. And Shrikanji really encouraged me to do teachers training from Divine Yoga in Rishikesh. So that's where we got training for about 500 hours. And I met all the Shri Yoga group and really enjoyed teaching yoga and meeting all of you. And I met Reena, Kanchan, Sangeeta, Jagdish Bhai, Jayashri, and others who did the training, teachers training with me. So it's a really a rewarding job for me. Another thing is now I have two children, Manisha and Amol. Manisha completed her chemical engineering and then she joined medical school and she finished her pediatric residency and she's working in Bay Area. She has two kids, Rohan, who is going to join Berkeley this year, and Maya, who is 15-year-old, and my son, Amol, is electrical engineering and economics from Stanford University. And then he did MD, PhD at UPenn, and he's working there as a full professor. And it's a fun and interesting journey with Sham and with yoga. And it's really enjoy to do yoga with all of you. And I just want to thank you, all of you, for listening to me. And happy Mother's Day to all of you. Thank you.
Can you say one few words about Amol?
Okay, Amol is he's a full professor at UPenn and in health policy. He is a joint appointment with the business school, and he works clinical work at a VA hospital, and he had joined the Medicare team, MedPAC, and he has appeared in Senate twice, and he's a co-chair for MedPAC. And he talked about, I think, budget committee and finance committee about medicine, how to improve Medicare and the overall quality of primary care, quality of care, at the same time saving money. So that's basically, and he's a consultant to Hawaiian state of the government. And I think he's on a couple of board of directors for companies. Doing interesting work, how to improve the quality care for patients. At the same time, physicians get adequate reimbursement and improve the health outcome. That is his basically field. And then he is a consultant to France and even Australia. He has been invited for this summer to go to Australia and consultant to basically government to how to improve the healthcare.
Thank you, Aruna, very much. And this is, you're a very smart family, and everybody is really, and Amol is married to my friend's daughter from Maryland. Yeah, so.
Chaya Sarakar, actually, she is the one who recommended me to join Shrikantji's Shri Yoga. And that's where this journey started and really enjoying it.
And Kishore Sarakar knows me from when I was like 6, 7 years old, so from Sangli. So it's kind of interesting connections. So thank you, Aruna. And let me change the spotlight to Ravi Kulkarni and Ravi and Neelima Kulkarni. So replace spotlight.
Thank you very much, Shri. Okay. One minute.
And so Ravi, if you attend the pranayam classes, he's always there for the 6:45 a.m. class. And he attends the next the easy chair class also. He's from New Jersey, and he has brought into Shri Yoga many smart people from New Jersey. So and so I'm really thankful to both Ravi and Neelima for spreading the word about Shri Yoga. And with that, go ahead, Ravi and Neelima. Let me know. Go ahead.
What an impressive background, Arunaji. Okay.
Thank you.
Where you and your family, we're very much impressed. Both your children have done wonderful things, and especially you have done so many different things. Okay, so really, we are very proud to hear about your accomplishment. Okay.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you.
yeah. Okay. As Shri has said, I'm Ravi Kulkarni and my wife is here, Neelima Kulkarni. Okay. Uh, I was introduced to Shri Yoga maybe just after pandemic. Okay, here the Marathi this community, Marathi Kalamandal, they had organized this session, and it was session was on Friday, and I just said I might as well attend the session, see how the things are going. And I was almost hooked to it. I talked to Shri and I said, "Do you have any other sessions?" And he told me that there are morning sessions, you do easy yoga, you do pranayam, etc. And ever since I've been attending the things, I try to attend every day. And really, whenever I feel a little bit lazy, etc., I tell myself, if Shri can come every day in the morning without fail, rain or shine, and I have no excuse not to attend. And that's how I attend, try to attend every day. A little bit about myself. I was born and brought up in Pune. Okay. And I did my engineering also from Pune Engineering College. And after I finished that thing, engineering, I did metallurgical engineering. I got a job with Hindustan Steel Limited in Durgapur Steel Plant. And there I spent about 5-6 years. Okay. Interesting part of it was that this was the period in 1971. So that time, the West Bengal was very active with Naxalites and communists, and there were a lot of physical clashes going on. And when we joined first day, the day we joined, there was a whole general strike, and we were asked to go back and go in an operating plant. Okay. So the second thing was that when we started the work, local people were very much against us because these are the outsiders who are coming and taking their jobs, and why they are not giving jobs to local people. So interestingly, as we are going on, okay, I said that what's clicking them. So what I did over there is I went to the market and I bought books for Bengali books for first grade, second grade, third grade, and fourth grade, and I started teaching myself Bengali. Okay. And as soon as people found out that, yeah, I'm trying to learn Bengali, okay, my whole resistance in front of me was melted, and I was kind of part of them. So while other people, there were kind of conflicts were going on, okay, I never had any resistance from any of the local people because I was trying to learn the language. Now, going forward, I learned to speak, read, write, and I did a lot of reading on Rabindranath Tagore's literature. Okay, very, very interesting period. Okay. After that, I decided to go to the US, and I kind of migrated to US. And there also, I was working somewhere deep south, uh, Georgia, Florida border. And there also, we were facing a lot of discrimination. So my earlier training that how do you go back and work with people helped me a lot. Okay. So after finishing a few years, etc., I moved to New Jersey, and we lived there almost in and out 35 years. And for my company, I was doing mostly throughout my career, I did mostly international work, whereas we developed technology in the US and then took the technology outside the country. So I almost worked all over the world. My initial we spent about 5 years in South Korea. And again, with my previous experience there also, I went back in the evening school to learn Korean. And I could never have used Korean somewhere else, but it was an interesting challenge. All people are very friendly, and anywhere in the world you go, when you show interest in their life, people will always cooperate with you, and that will give you. You are able to solve a lot of different problems which normally people are not able to solve. So with that, from Korea, I was in Middle East. I spent in Egypt with a couple of years. I was in UAE for a few years, and then I was in London for this thing. So interestingly, one of my challenging assignment was when I went to India. Okay, and we were doing a job in Nagpur, and when I went over there first time, okay, people kind of our people means I looked like them, I talked the languages, okay, but okay, I was foreign to the culture. Okay, because I was away from the India for quite some time, and it took some time for me to kind of how do I operate in the country. Means, to give you an example, safety is the biggest thing for us. And when we had about 400 laborers on the site, and these people nobody was wearing helmet, nobody was wearing goggles, nobody was wearing even safety shoes, and people will walk on the site, etc. So to make the cultural change was a huge challenge. I mean, we spent almost 1 million man hours, and we did not have any incidents at all. It's just insisting on people that they have to go home the way in which they came to work. So after that, I came back to the US and did quite a few different things, etc. Okay, and then after coming back to US, I had to go back again to Dubai to develop another facility over there. This is on the professional side. Okay, and I was telling you earlier that on my yoga and easy chair, it gave me a discipline, and I really enjoy coming back every day in the morning and meeting various people. Okay, Shri, I thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk about myself. Okay. One more thing I just wanted to tell you about my family. We have 2 children. Okay. Our son is an interventional cardiologist. He works for Kaiser Permanente, and he mostly now is working with health policy, and he does he still works as a cardiologist, but he also works on the administrative side of the things. And our daughter is a plastic surgeon, and she has a practice in Washington, D.C. Our daughter and her husband, both of them did their fellowship in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in University of Michigan. Okay. And then after finishing the fellowship, they spent a year in New York in Cornell. And now they settled over here in Washington, D.C. area. Since both of our children are settled here, we decided to move to Washington, D.C. area about 5 years ago. Okay. Thank you, Shri. Let me give it to Neelima to speak about
Thank
her
you. Thank you.
Also, we have 4 grandchildren, 2 from each kid. And because of them, I think it was a very good idea to move in this area. They come every Friday and sleep over and go back on Saturday. So we have a great weekends. And they also do pranayam and everything with Ravi when they are here on Saturday morning. So youngest one, since she was 3 years old, she is doing pranayam with Ravi. So I started with like Ravi said, we started when Ravi started after COVID. But then when I had a stroke a year and a half ago, I have to stop it. And then that time, Shri gave us some recording. So what I do is after I'm much better now, but after I got better, I do the exercises on my own around 10 o'clock or something whenever I have free time. And on my, I have a, what should I start with? I have basic degree in mathematics. Then I did a master's in Marathi, and I also have journalism degree from India. And then coming here, I have a degree in computer science. And then I worked for AT&T, and then I worked for IBM. After I retired, I started doing learning Vedas. I did all the Upanishads, and I also studied Gita under Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. And now for last almost 3 years, I'm teaching Upanishad and Gnaneshwari. Gnaneshwari is my favorite book. I should not say book. It's a beautiful thing that Gnaneshwar has written. And I teach on Tuesdays, I teach Gnaneshwari, and on Monday, I teach Upanishad. So that is my hobby. Even after the stroke, I continued now. I have some problem in speaking. It may show up, but most of the times I'm okay with English and Marathi. Sanskrit I still have to work on, and Hindi I still have to work on. So that's it. That's my story.
What about your writing side?
Yeah, well,
Yeah. What about your right? Go ahead.
yes, I I write to. I mean, I used to write for several magazines and everything, and then I wrote one book about America, Angadicha, Americacha Angadi. Another book I wrote about Ravi's experiences in between different countries, and that is called Deshantaricha Katha. And the third book I wrote about, how the life had, women's life had changed in India in last 100 years. So I have characters from my mom's side, me, my daughter, and four generations before my mom also, and her mom that way. And I that book is Sangha. I have trouble in saying my pustakas now.
Okay, Sangha.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So I have published 4 books, and that's about it.
Okay. I just want to add something what she said about year and a half ago. We were doing. I had just retired, and we were doing tours of various national parks. So we were in Utah, and in Utah she had difficulties. Initially, she had difficulties in talking, and I did not realize what she is going through. Okay. So otherwise she was okay. Just physically there was no issues, but there were issues in moving, this thing, speaking and whatnot, a little bit here and there. So we continued for a couple of days, and then afterwards she could not remember Atharva Shirsha, which she used to say every day in the morning. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then what happened is we called our son, and he said immediately that, Mom, you have a stroke. You immediately go to an emergency room. So we went to an emergency room somewhere in Page, Arizona, and we did all kinds of different things, etc. And this was about 3 days after her initial stroke. So they did everything, and they confirmed that it was a stroke. But no vessels were burst. So there was no impact on the limbs and movement. But the language processing center was totally impacted.
Wow.
She could not talk, and she could not, she forgot Sanskrit, she could not talk. Marathi also was difficulty, and English was difficulties. Computation was difficulties. And the only thing what doctor told us that we cannot do anything here right now. Okay. So we decided to come back to Virginia area where we live. And then we conducted all the tests, etc. And from then to now, it has been a journey for her. So what she started, first we took the speech therapist training, and there she kind of, right from how you teach a small kid from first grade, second grade, etc., she taught her how to talk, okay, and she used to give 50 pages homework every time, and slowly she started talking. And then after what we decided to do, that her therapy was continue teaching classes. So she teaches Vedanta and Gnaneshwari. So what we did over there is we used to work together, and then slowly she would give me her notes, and then we both of us will work with, and then continue teaching. And with that, she is recovered 99% in speaking side, and also she recovered in Marathi also. She can talk Marathi quite well, English and Marathi. There are still issues with the computation, and Sanskrit is still a problem. Okay, but she has made a very good progress so far, and we pray that it will continue. Yes. And
That's
It's amazing. Yeah,
amazing
it's
journey.
amazing, remarkable improvement.
yeah. And one more thing, I just wanted to add something to what she said, that 2013, she decided to take early retirement from IBM, and she wanted to do three different things. Her first thing was that she wanted to help abused women. So she worked with, she took some courses with state of New Jersey, and then she took some courses with Manavi, and then she was helping people like in the US, especially people who have come on H-1B visas, etc., especially with Indians. There is a lot of abuse with a younger woman. And especially it's a lot of time it happens due to financial reasons and everything else, etc. So she used to work with them, and a lot of times she used to get calls from police station for her to talk to the people who were abused. That was one thing she did. And second thing, she wanted to study Vedanta, which is Indian philosophy. And then she went all over the different places. She took a course in Aniketi, which is in Kerala, near Coimbatore, for 3 months course. Then she took a lot of courses in Rishikesh. And then here in Pennsylvania, Dayanand Saraswati's ashram, she took courses there. She took courses in New Jersey also. So over the last 10 years, she has been pursuing Gita, and Danishwari is her favorite thing. So she has been doing that thing. And really, for recovering from the stroke, studying and continue teaching has helped her a lot. Okay. Anything else?
Yes.
Thank you, Shri.
That's a really amazing journey. And it is
Amazing,
very nice
amazing.
to hear her. And Neelima, this is another topic for your new book. Okay, so your journey.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people say that, but yeah, when I get enough strength, I will write it.
Great. Okay.
Right now,
Thank you.
also, when I talk or I think about it, it takes time for me to remember all the words and all. So,
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
So next we have Varun. Let me just make sure that I replace the spotlight.
Thank you, Shriji.
And Varun, first Varun and his wife, I met them in 2020, I think. And so you probably remember the date and everything. It was before COVID, and there was some function at SSVT, and both of them attended. And I don't know why, but we just got really connected. Just he attended my the session, and just I thought that this is somebody that can really very bright, and just somebody that I would like to have him as a yoga teacher and so on. So so with that, Varun, go ahead and tell your story. Okay.
Sure, Sriji. Thank you so much. I'll connect everything that you that you mentioned chronologically. So my name is Varun Kalyan. Born and brought up in Mumbai, Chembur suburb, central Bombay. Um, um, like originally, my parents are from the south, Tamil Nadu, but we are Telugu speaking. So from home, I automatically speak Tamil. I mean, Telugu is my mother tongue, and then of course Tamil is natural to me as well. And then of course, when born and brought up in Mumbai, Marathi, you obviously learn with everyone around you, and also in school. And of course, Hindi and English is always part of the curriculum. So language has always been a draw for me. And then in school, I also learned a couple of years of French in my 12th grade.
Wow.
And that's where my journey started. And then my journey is not even like as close to, as to like my previous speakers. I mean, they have wealth of experience. But my dad, uh, to who I am today, I kind of dedicated to my dad. He's no more, but I'll come to that at a point. I think that's where the intersection is very uncanny and like super helpful. So he worked in many countries, Japan, Southeast Asia, Singapore, and like Middle East. And one opportunity when he got, when we, me and my brother were young, he took us to Singapore. Like, so we as kids, I mean, maybe I was 6 to 8, and then I got an opportunity to live and study there for 2 3 years. So I got that exposure, to what it means to live outside and learn with other people that don't look like you and talk like you. So automatically, that was a very important small thing that happened in life. I mean, I think people in the US call it the butterfly effect. Something that happens years in the past, has impact for you, like, many, many years in the future. So that was my first butterfly effect. I keep that close to my heart. Due to, I don't know if you know the rules, like if you're a boy or like if you're a son that, are born in Singapore, military training is mandatory. And like, you need to join the army because Singapore does not have an army. And my mom was a little bit skeptical about that. And like, things happened back in India, and like due to my grandmother's health, we all had to migrate back. So moved back to Mumbai, continued my rest of my school. And my ambition initially was to go to Australia, but due to financial reasons, initially that plane didn't take off, and I kind of like put my dreams aside and like continued my engineering in Mumbai, in Navi Mumbai, MGM college. Did my biomedical engineering, and then I said, let me go for my master's since I couldn't get my bachelor's done in Australia. So I'd gotten a lot of acceptance. Initially was I'm like looking forward to go to aeronautical engineering. Didn't happen, but I took the next best thing at that time. This was back in early, around financial crisis 2008. Biomedical was very, it was a growing field. So a lot of people in India encouraged, do biomedical engineering. It's a great opportunity to go to US. So I listened to all my mentors and I took that. Did that, moved here. I went to Wright State University in Ohio, in Dayton. Did that for a couple of years. Slowly transitioned. That time market was very bad. If you all remember, jobs were very hard to find, especially as a student, especially on a visa. So I made a career pivot. I slowly moved into human factors engineering. So my master's was actually in human factors engineering, where due to great professors, I got opportunities to write like a lot of research papers published in like a lot of defense journals around drones. So a couple of papers that I wrote are like finally published as of 2015. And then I moved here to the Maryland area. As I mentioned, 2010, 2011, really hard time for a newbie to start a career. And luckily, I had some friends that, connected me to the right people. And I moved to this area where I am. Always been in the Maryland area. I started working as a consultant at Marriott International headquarters on the corporate side, and joined the company back and forth two, 3 times. and work with T-Mobile as well, and Total Wine and more, all on the technology side. So I work on the human factors and like technology side for all these companies. And coming back to 2020, the second butterfly effect, I think that has been 2019 was a turbulent time at home. Dad, dad had initially a stroke 2008, when before I left my engineering, and then 2019 suddenly he out of nowhere he got detected with late stage lung cancer. So I was back here, just gotten married at that time, so it was a very frantic moment. And I was actually on a visa, like obviously, I was on H1B visa. Travel is not super easy, and especially under these circumstances, it was a very difficult time. And somehow navigated through that. Spent time with dad for a bit through his, all his therapy and all that. But things didn't work out, right? So of course, January 25th, January 9th, he passed away. 2020, all before COVID hit. Nobody knows what COVID is. Thankful to God that I could go for all his last rites and things like that. But had it been like a month later, I would have been some of those unlucky people who couldn't see their loved ones, and like due to lockdowns and things like that. So even in that negative, I see the positives. 25th January, I came back. I'd actually landed a job at Marriott, and well and behold, my start date was March 3rd. Next week, they laid off everyone for the next 6 months, because hospitality industry and airline industry was the worst hit. So for 6 months, I was like, I don't know, what am I doing in life? So that's when Shriji came into my life. So 9th February, I think exactly to what he said, certain dates I can never move from my mind. 9th February 2020, exactly 1 month since my dad passed, I met Shriji at SSVT temple. And I don't know what drew him. He was on the same table that we were sitting, and there were all these other yoga institutes, right? Like Isha Foundation, HSS, and like all, I don't even remember the other yoga institutions names. But when Shriji taught the class, and like he immediately noticed, me and my wife did yoga. I mean, my wife probably does much better yoga than me. She's more flexible, but I try my best. He immediately started a conversation with me, and I had this pull towards me. That is the second butterfly effect of my life. I mean, there was a purpose for Shriji to come to my life, because that was a dark time, honestly. At a young age, losing your dad, and almost in 3 months, right? It was like he gets something, and after 3 months he's gone. Like there was no time, like to spend, and especially when you move out. Like I always think about, when I reach everyone's age, like your age, like I always think, did I make the right decision leaving India, leaving my family behind? What did I gain from it? Like those kind of thoughts came into my mind. Depression came into my mind. And I think when I started, initially I had no intentions of becoming a yoga teacher. My goal was just to be a student. Like anything I like to do or wish to do, I want to be a good student first before I become a teacher. Like, that was not even on my cards, but I was very dedicated. And of course, like there were two things. I had a lot of time in my hands because I was laid off. And then I had things going on in my mind, and I need to overcome this. And perfect combination was like, Shriji, I went to a couple of classes in person, and then COVID hit, everybody was remote. But that gave us opportunity. We could do it remotely, and I joined classes for like almost every day, almost for the next few months. And then he encouraged me, take it forward, teach. And I did the Divine Yoga class, I think, with Aruna ji. And honestly, that was the biggest blessing. I can never forget what Sriji has done for me. And I feel like he's family. I feel like, पिछले जन्म का connection, like I think हम लोग बोलते हैं कि कोई ना कोई आपके लाइफ में आता है, उनका there is a purpose. I strongly believe that, and I think Sriji has been that for me, and I'm so thankful. Uh, teaching since, that time, occasionally whenever I get opportunity, and like I teach on Sunday at 7:30. Happy to collect all the blessings for whoever I teach, and I get to practice. I think that's my biggest motivator to teach, is I get to practice, and plus I get to teach, and continuing my my spiritual and yoga journey as well, and of course in life, still a young dad. My daughter is only 2, so my she was just born like a year or 2 ago. She was 2 on May 1st, Maharashtra Day. So, like symbolic day again. But yeah, I think that's, language, yoga. And apart from that, I mean, again, I always think of giving back. So I have a YouTube channel solely dedicated to travel, but I also mainly focused on supporting the Indian diaspora. So, if you have a visa issue, how do you navigate that? If you have OCI, like I actually made a video on OCI and it went viral, and the Indian embassy reached out to me and they did a video with me. So, all those videos related to immigration for Indian diaspora in the US, all my videos are there on YouTube. And then, it's just helping, some form of help to people, I think is needed. And then it gives you unconditional satisfaction. So that is something I do. And apart from that, I have passion for sports, football, played all throughout my career. I actually have a podcast as well. Now I speak about football, or soccer that they call it here. So deeply passionate about things. And then apart from that, just busy with my 2-year-old and my wife. She's from here, but now she understands Hindi, and she I think she attends all the classes as well. So she always asks about you, Shriji. Like, she's not able to join nowadays, but soon, once we'll pick up the cadence again. But I think, thank you for the opportunity, and I mean, I have so much more to learn from Shriji and everyone around here. So happy to hear all the experiences and all the great achievements that people have talked about. So with that, I'll pass it back to Shriji. Thank you so much. And
Oh, this wonderful, very wonderful, nice to hear about your story. And also, Varun teaches in-person classes at Marriott. And so I have seen
yes,
some videos, that it's good that, Marriott is giving you the opportunity to teach in-person
yes,
classes there. So,
yes. Actually, I have a class for Wellness Day Tuesday, actually. So it's not in the office, but it's remote. So more than 50 to 60 people will join that class. So happy
oh,
to take
wonderful.
that forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you very much,
Thank you,
Nice
Sri.
Varun.
of yeah. Nice of it, how you handled everything, Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
So again, we have two more. Next one is Srinivas and Shamala, and after that Suresh, Kamat. And don't worry about the time. So even if it goes past 9:30, I'm okay with it. So just whatever you want to say, just feel free to do that. Let me just uh, spotlight you.
So thank you very much for the opportunity and for all of your patience to listen to our journey over here. I do want to thank Shriji a lot for us being able to attend many of the classes. I personally attend the classes to the extent possible, so I'm not regular, I will admit it. Srinivas will talk about his own, I'm going to let him do it. So essentially, I'm personally from Bangalore. Born and brought up there, and did my bachelor's and master's in Bangalore University. And then I came to do my PhD in here in this country. And this was in chemistry, organic chemistry specifically. And after that, I was a postdoctoral fellow in Louisiana State University for about a year. And then when we got married, this was 35 years ago. And Srinivas was in University of Alabama at Birmingham, so we moved there. And so did my transition from organic chemistry to biochemistry-like work. And from there, after 2 years for me, Srinivas got a job in St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. So it was another transition for me in the field. So there I went into virology. So there I worked on a virus which all of us are infected with, nothing to fear, we all carry it, called Epstein-Barr virus. So worked on it for a couple of years. We lived in Memphis for about 8 years and then moved to Maryland. I'm skipping past a few things, but anyway, we had our child in Memphis, Tennessee. We have one daughter, Pooja. And I'll come to Pooja in a second, but we moved to Maryland in 99 and we have stayed put here. I work for National Cancer Institute. So again, another transition in the field of cancer. And initially I was in a lab for a couple of years, working still on Epstein-Barr virus, but then I moved to National Cancer Institute, where I work in overseeing peer reviews of grant applications. As you all know, many of the universities ask for grants to do their work in their labs, and those applications have to be peer reviewed. So I oversee those peer reviews for National Cancer Institute, and I continue to do that job right now. And coming back to our daughter here, we moved here when she was about 4, and she pretty much studied here. Work-life balance, we just balanced to the extent possible, both of us working, and then we had a small child. But anyway, she has grown up now and went to Poolsville High, then went to University of Berkeley for her bachelor's, went to Emory University for her PhD, and now she's a postdoctoral fellow in Seattle, University of Washington. And I'm going to stop there and let Srinivas take over.
Yeah.
So just one thing, do you want to say anything about your singing?
So my singing aspect is, I was taught to sing as a child by my mother. And since Varun brought up some language things, I must say that being born and brought up in Bangalore, I do know Kannada quite well. But I'm a Tamilian, so we speak Tamil at home. And my mother's side of the family is from Andhra, actually, so I do know Telugu as well, because her family actually speaks Telugu primarily, even though they are Tamilians too. So I do speak a lot of languages. So coming back to the music, my mother taught me how to sing, and my, again, you wish you had kept up. These are some of the regrets. So I'm hoping that I'll pick it up after I retire so that, I can do it regularly. But here it is sporadic, as my yoga is right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Srinivasan.
Yeah, my name is Srinivas, and many people call me by my initials, RV, because back home when I was in school, in our class, at least there were 4 other Srinivasas, and we were all being referred to each other by our initials. All happens to be my village, my forefather's name, Ranga. V is my father, Venkatesh name. So the name used to be like a postal address in our village. Even if when I go to my village and I say my name, some senior person will say, "Oh, I remember your grandfather," kind of thing. So it's a small world it used to be. So I grew up mostly in Mysore. My father was a government servant, so he was traveling in different parts of Karnataka, and I believe I was born in Tumkur, but I don't remember anything about it. Mostly, I remember growing up in Mysore. After my BS, I went to JIPMER, the Pondicherry Jawaharlal Institute of Postgraduate Medical Education. I did my master's in medical microbiology. Actually, it was interesting that in the last retreat, I met Dr. Padma Lala. She was a alumnus of JIPMER, and it was nice to talk about. She was one of the very first batches of MBBS students who passed out from JIPMER, so it was interesting. And also in JIPMER, one of my seniors, Nageshwar Rao, he was 2 years senior to me in biochemistry. I was in microbiology. He was the one who introduced me to the Shri Yoga, gave me the information, and gave Shri's phone number. And then I contacted Shri and got the Zoom link to join the yoga videos, and also the connection goes back to Jipmer. And after my master's, I went to All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi to do my PhD. Again, I did my PhD in microbiology. I was a bacteriologist and then changed my field to virology while in India itself, and then came to University of Alabama, Birmingham for a postdoctoral position. I almost stayed in Birmingham for about 10 years, and I was a faculty member in the molecular cell biology department. When my professor moved to Emory, I moved to St. Jude Children's Hospital as a faculty member in infectious disease department. That was the time AIDS had started coming in, so I was in the pediatric AIDS research, and I was working in St. Jude for 7 years. And from there, we moved to Maryland. I shifted from hands-on research and lab work to administrative job, like what Shamala was explaining. I came to NIH for the Center for Scientific Review as chief of the AIDS and related research branch. There, my responsibility was mainly to oversee the review of all applications in the AIDS area that came for research kind of thing. About 12 years ago, I shifted from Center for Scientific Review to National Institute of Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse, NIAAA in NIH itself. I continue to do the same kind of job and mainly oversee the research and also different aspects. So basically, this is my professional background, and Shamala and I do very similar kind of work, and that makes it sometimes easy, sometimes challenging.
Our approaches are different. I do love going to all these classical, South Indian classical music concerts. There was one yesterday from Sanjay Subramaniam. It was fantastic for those of you who are interested in Carnatic music. So we do attend the music to the extent possible again, but I do watch a lot of those on YouTube because people, thanks to them, they upload all kinds of concerts. So just love the music.
And again, coming to yoga, I have to say I enjoy the 7:30 vinyasa classes. I like to attend almost every day. I attend all the 5 days a week, except on Wednesdays when I have to go to work. I may have to skip, and I have caught Varun's classes several times. He's a very good and patient teacher, and I enjoy it a lot. And also, I like to attend Shri's pranayama classes, usually on Saturdays and Sundays. And after that, try to catch either the 2-hour yoga, intense yoga session offered either by Shri, Ram, Rakesh, or anyone. So, it's really interesting that how a large cadre of yoga teachers have been teaching us yoga. Each one has some unique, interesting style. It's fun to attend different classes. In fact, the same pose, when different people teach, there is a slight nuance, and it makes it very enjoyable. So I really enjoy the yoga classes. I think I have improved physically a lot by attending yoga. One of the challenge for me is still to get into the Padmasana pose. The lotus pose has been a challenge. Even half lotus has been challenging. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to do that. So basically, that's about it. In terms of hobby, I don't have any notable hobby. I enjoy everything. I like to eat food. I like to cook food. And I can't say I'm a aficionado of music, but I don't know much about classical music or any kind of music for that matter, but I love listening to music. I enjoy accompanying the concerts. So, and I do enjoy all the parties and yoga retreats that Shri puts together. It has always been fun. So,
thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. Okay. Very good. And we have Suresh Kamat. Suresh, I don't know, but probably about a year and a half or something in that order when he joined Shri Yoga. And ever since that, he's always there for the pranayam and easy chair classes in the morning. And let me just replace the spotlight. Okay, so and so it's generally he's the last person for the second pranayam class, and so we get to so when I'm saying hello to everyone, so he's the last one almost, so we get to chance to talk more at that time, so because there is no class after after that 8:40. And it's very nice to talk to him. We have lots of interesting things to share. And so with that, Suresh, go ahead and okay.
I thank you, Sri Kanji, for this opportunity to talk to our.
Can you make the sound a little bit louder? And if it is difficult, if it's possible, otherwise don't worry about it.
Is that better?
Okay, go ahead.
I thank Sri Kanji for this opportunity to be able to talk to you. I got introduced to Shri Yoga in February 2023 by Mridula Devdhar, who is my son-in-law's mother. She lives in Washington, D.C. And my daughter, is married to her son there. So I have been doing yoga and pranayam with Shri very regularly. I at least do it about 5 days a week, I will say. And right now, it is my gardening season, so I'm missing a few sessions. And I'm grateful to Shri for that. His dedication, he's a phenomenal teacher, a motivator, and a leader. He has created the Shri Yoga community where there are so many smart and curious people, and they have so much varied experience in different areas of life. And I listened to Varun Kalyan, also young man, and it's very impressive. And about me, I was born in Belgaum, which is a city about 300 miles south of Bombay. And it's kind of in between, exactly between Bombay and Bangalore on the railway line. And that is Karnataka. Our friend Shamala and Srinivas, they're from Bangalore. And I grew up in Belgaum, and life was very simple then. The elementary school was so primitive. I cannot believe the facilities that our children have got in America. We had just only equipment we had was a black chalkboard, and that's about it. And there was no pressure to study. We were 8 kids in the family, so there was hardly any supervision. So it was all freelance, just play all day and go to school and come back. Nobody asked about homework or anything like that. And up to the 6th grade, the results were just pass or fail. So nobody knew how good or how bad we were as students. In the 7th grade, there was some kind of a board exam, and where I got a first class, and I did not even know, I had not prepared, and I get a first class. So I became a little more ambitious. And when I went to high school, I started doing really well. And I finished my high school, and I got first class with distinction. And then I went to college, and there I really got my first break. When I passed my first year college exam, I was number 1 in college and number 5 in the university. So my uncle, he was a well-recognized organic chemistry professor in Mumbai. He noticed that, and he said, well, I should bring this boy to Mumbai. Otherwise, he will be wasted in a place like Belgaum, where I did not know what I was going to do in future. So he brought me to Mumbai, and he got me admission in St. Xavier College, which was one of the top colleges in Mumbai. And I appeared for the inter-science exam, and it's an engineering entrance exam, basically. And I did very well, and I got admission into VZTI. So I got my bachelor's and master's degrees from VZDI, my master's degree in 1972, and then I came to United States. And I came to Cincinnati, and I joined the University of Cincinnati, and I got my master's degree in 1974. Soon after that, I got married in August 1974. And although I had 2 master's degrees, I had no experience. So I had to pick up a little bit of experience in Cincinnati and then in Columbus for about 3 years. And when I was in Columbus, General Electric aircraft engines came for interviews, and I appeared for an interview, and they offered me a job in Cincinnati. So I came back to Cincinnati again in 1977 May, and we have been living here now for the past 47 years. And about my career, after joining General Electric company, there were a lot of opportunities you could work. General Electric was so large, you could work anywhere. You could move from job to job if you wanted to. So I worked in engineering design for about 3 years and then moved to an area called fatigue life, where we decided how long these aircraft engine rotating parts could be used in the field. As you are aware, aircraft engine rotating parts are very dangerous. If they fail, we can lose the aircraft and a lot of loss of life. So I got to work in that area, and there were really, really smart people in that group. The group was called Engineering Mechanics and Life Management. And I was a part of life management, where we decided how the part of the life should be. And a lot of challenges. The work was very, very challenging. And I got to work on various engine programs. There was a military engine J79, and believe it or not, we had something like 18,000 engines in the field. And we had a lot of cracking in the parts. And the military uses those parts, and where the cracking is okay, they inspect those parts and put them in if they're good. But in commercial engines, if you find one cracking part, there is a serious, serious investigation launched. And so I got to work on those military programs where there was great opportunity to satisfy customers, because they were concerned about loss of, sometimes they will lose engines, and that obviously creates risk for losing the pilots, and that happens too. And as a result, I got an opportunity to visit Air Force offices to give presentations on these cracking investigations. And I got an opportunity to visit even Israel once. So the job was very, very interesting. But after about 25 years, in 2002, the company was changing. There was a lot of pressure. So I said, and I was 55 years old. So I said, well, company came out with the opportunity to take early retirement. And I said, okay, I will volunteer to take early retirement. And my goal was very simple: lead a simple life with a focus on good health, happiness, harmony, and peace of mind. That's all I wanted to do. But income is still an issue when you take early retirement. GE had a pension, but that pension would not be enough. And within 6 weeks, the fellow that I had worked for before, he offered me a part-time job at GE. And that took care of it. So I worked at General Electric Company for the next 9 years, and I got a chance to work in several different areas, and which I had never worked there before. And even there, the work was very challenging, and I enjoyed it a lot because I did not know, I had zero experience in those areas, but I did well and I had a lot of fun. And I did that for about 9 years in my retirement. And I worked only 1,000 hours per year. So 3 days a week, and I had 4 days off every week. So I had a chance to focus on my simple goals: good health, happiness, harmony, and peace of mind. So there was plenty of time to do that. So I exercised a lot, followed different interests, but I will come to that. I will talk about my family a little bit. I have been married to my wonderful wife, Durga. We will be married for 50 years in August of this year. And she has been a very dedicated wife and mother. Today we had Mother's Day, and we had a wonderful Mother's Day with our younger daughter here in Cincinnati. We have two daughters. They are both married. Older daughter, Nutan, she lives in Potomac in Washington, D.C., in your area. And she is married to Nitin Devdhav. My daughter is a CPA, and she works for the federal government for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. She is a CPA, and she is the director of finance. And her husband has a very interesting career. He is a tennis coach, and he has his own Bethesda Tennis Academy. And they have two twin boys, and now they are 15 years old. And their father obviously takes a lot of interest, and they are very, very competitive. They just won their county tennis championships. They also represent their high school, and they won all their matches in the high school. So they are doing really good. And my younger daughter lives in town here, about 10 miles away. Her name is Asha, and she works for the same company, which is GE Aircraft Engines. And she has done a lot better than I did. And she is a general manager now. And she's doing really well. She's married to Justin, and they have two daughters that are young. You know, when she joined GE and she was on this management program, she could not have children. So she had to wait. As a result, her daughters are 7 years old and 4 years old. And for us as grandparents, we get to spend time with them. And my older granddaughter, 7 years old, she likes to do yoga a lot. And she is fun to have around. Something about my hobbies: I like music a lot. I listen to Indian classical music and film music a lot. About 20 years ago, we did not have this MP3 music, and I had more than maybe close to 200 CDs, and that was becoming a burden to carry them around, and cassette tapes and all that. So I converted all those CDs to MP3, and the volume became just 20 CDs. And we could play that music in the car, everywhere, at home, and I enjoyed that. I played a lot of bridge from 2004 to about 2015, and we had a team of 4 players. We had a couple, the Samans and my friend Sudame, and my wife doesn't play bridge. Sudame's wife did not play bridge. So we were 4, and all 4 of us competed in tournaments, and we got the Life Master title. And we traveled to many places, and we had terrific time attending these bridge tournaments. Other than playing bridge, I think it was more fun spending time with the friends. I also like woodworking. I have a little unusual interest for our Indian background. I have a house that sits on 1 acre plot, So I have a chance to do all these activities. And I have a separate garage, by the way, which is 3-car garage, where I can store all my equipment for woodworking as well as gardening. And I will just quickly show you a few projects that I worked on.
To show it, I will have to make you co-host.
Okay, right there.
So hold on just for a minute. Let me see if I can make you co-host. Okay. Okay. So I'm making you co-host in case you want to share it, but if you just want to show it, that's okay.
Yeah, I did. Here it is, my gardening project. This is my son-in-law here.
No, we can't see it. We can't see it.
Oh, how do I do this then?
Um,
Share, I said screen. Oh, just a minute. Screen share, right?
yeah, but it will be difficult to. I think let's not worry about it. You just hold it in front of your face, so that way we can see it. So keep it, more close to the face, so that way we can see it.
Like this.
Okay. Yes. Good. So yeah. So we can see it now. Yes. Good.
Okay. And I don't spend too much time here. Okay, here is the family here, my wife and my 2 granddaughters. This is my older daughter and her 2 boys and her husband. That is the Devdar family here with the boys and my son-in-law and daughter. This is my younger daughter with her 2 daughters and husband. These are the woodworking projects I made. This is the chair I made. This is another one afterwards. This is the chair I made for grandkids, 2 of them. And this is the gardening box. So you can do the gardening by standing there around the box. You don't have to sit down. So this I made for my daughter. And this is my garden. In my retirement, this is what I focus on. This is my garden here.
So the picture is not moving, so I'm not sure if he is showing different pictures or.
Oh, I can just do it like this.
Okay.
This is my gardening pictures. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I put together this so you can get a glimpse. This is from a couple of years ago, but my garden is more or less looks the same every year. I repeat it. I do not quibble with the success, so I just do it every year. That's all.
Very good.
And basically, life in retirement has been very good. As I said, focus is on good health, happiness, harmony, and peace. And Shrikanji, you have contributed a lot to my happiness. And I thank you all for the members of the Shri Yoga community. That's all.
So can you stop the screen share?
Yes, let's see. Okay. Stop, right?
So at that kind of a middle top, there is that stop screen share, and that will stop it.
I am illiterate.
Okay, let me stop it.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that, Shri.
Okay, so so thank you for sharing this lot of interesting activities that you do, and it's always so nice to see you every day in the morning. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
So thank you all, and again, all this is recorded. And again, if anybody else has any comments, please, you can speak. You have heard 5 speakers and 5 speakers or speaker families, and so otherwise, I'll process the recording and then share it with you. Reena, do you want to say anything? Maybe she's too busy. Okay.
No, Uncle. Uncle. It was wonderful session from everyone. Especially Aruna Moshi. I know her from the time we did the training together, and now they're just a family that we have. So it's amazing learning experience with her. Her enthusiasm is amazing. We take easy class at 11 o'clock, and the days she is not able to take, she's always ready to take substitute anyone. And if she's not taking, that's because she has a tennis class, or she's more busy than us. So she's very inspiring, very down to earth. Both of them, really wonderful family. We even met Amol's family as well, and it's just amazing. um, I don't know what else to say about Mosh and Shamala, but it's just rare.
No, it's really pleasure to have that teachers training with Reena, Kanchan, Jagdish Bhai, Sangeeta. It was really nice group, so we really enjoyed it, and really it brought us together. And half the credit goes to Srikanji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
there's
of him,
very good bond between these teachers, the easy class teachers, and it is really, and so it's nice of Aruna and Sham to visit us, whenever there is some event, and so that's an opportunity to meet all other teachers also. And yeah, so it's just really, I'm just very happy that somehow God has given me, somehow it is happening that, so many of you are able to, participate in Shri Yoga activities. Okay.
That's
So,
definitely.
But
For
wait,
Varun, I would like to say one thing that last yoga day, he did encourage all of us to do trash disposal in such a organized way. The previous yoga day, we did like about 19-20 trash bags, and we were all annoyed that we are yoga family, we shouldn't be doing this much trash, throwing out trash and all. So he really took lead on having a center that you put the plates upside down, throw this way, put plates upside down, and we could package everything in one bag. And that was amazing, and we followed that for some events after that. So that was really encouraging for you.
Yeah, that is a core pillar to my way of living. Think not for your generation, but for the next 3 generations. So that's my policy. So sustainable living, throw less trash, recycle more, and as exactly what
But
Rina explained.
brought it to
Recycle and reuse.
people.
Exactly.
recycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I thank you so much for creating this beautiful community through yoga, but even person to person interactions is wonderful. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
did
thank you. As I always say that this is all happening, it's just, I am sort of started it, but it's just going on, and there's so many smart people and dedicated people are joining the group, and so I'm very thankful to all of you.
Uncle, you're really good at taking everyone's idea and really taking it in and spreading it. So thank you, Uncle.
Did you do your yoga classes in India?
No, I started in 2002 when I was here. Yeah.
No, here these ladies, that group, where did they do their training?
Oh, from Rishikesh.
Oh,
No,
Rishikesh.
but that is
Divine Yoga
online.
Rishikesh.
Wow.
But it's online training. Online
Zoom.
training.
On Zoom, because of COVID, we took
During
it.
COVID time.
Do
Okay,
it.
online. Okay, all right. Very good. All right. And you mentioned Rishikesh, and I said, oh, did these people go to India or what? For
We took it on Zoom. Yeah. But we used to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning
I know.
and
We start the class.
start the class for 1.5, 2 hours. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. And
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very
Nice.
interesting session.
Interesting session. I try to keep it short, so yeah, it was good.